Joining me right now, former FBI Assistant Director Danny Coulson. Danny, good to see you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
What do you think of all this? I mean, James Comey telling our own Brett Baier, oh, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that went into this. And now we know that wasn't the case. We now know that there were some very deliberate omissions. There were questions that were obvious questions that weren't asked. Was that because there was massive bias and they were trying to take down a guy they didn't like?
Exactly. Well, we have significant bias here, and it starts with the text messages from Page and Strzok, where they talk about animus, the fact that they don't like Trump. We can't let this happen, or we will stop it. Well, that shows bias, clearly. And then the bias was acted upon by those same players when they went to the FISA court with false documentation, not once, but 3 times. And then we have an FBI lawyer who falsified an email that dramatically affected the decision to allow them to get a warrant. So when Andrew McCabe, the deputy director, says that we wouldn't have gotten this FISA without this dossier, then that tells you a lot. James Comey is just between a rock and a hard place, and he's trying to talk his way out of it right now.
Well, not just talk his way out of it, he's actually, you know, patting himself on the back, saying what a great job the FBI did, what a great job I did. You know, he's got his op-ed in the Washington Post, he's making the media rounds. I mean, if I were him, I'd kind of cool it on that, because I think that the verdict's still out. And when you match up what he said versus the facts we now know, those two things are not in sync.
No, they're not in sync. Remember, we have statutes that prevent this. The Civil Rights Act has a provision in it called color of office. And if I, as an FBI agent, or Comey as a director, or one of his minions, does something inappropriate to violate somebody's civil rights, it's called color of office. And it looks like to me, and I ran the civil rights program with the FBI, I have some, I know a little bit about it, but I will tell you, it sounds like a conspiracy to violate the rights of both Donald Trump and Mr. Page and others by giving false information. And that's very serious. And I really hope justice is done here. I hope that Durham, and I think he does, has the courage to make the right decision and see that justice is done.
Okay, so already people are going after him. They're going after Attorney General Barr. I mean, I want to ask you about that new op-ed by the former AG under Barack Obama, Eric Holder. That's out today. He's out there attacking Bill Barr. I suppose we're going to see a lot more of that. We've already seen members of the media attacking Bill Barr, accusing him of being completely biased and in the tank for Donald Trump. He's arguing that, look, I'm just trying to make sure on behalf of the American people that justice is really served and that, you know, our intelligence agencies aren't weaponized for political purposes. What do you think about Eric Holder and others attacking Attorney General Barr right now, Danny?
Eric Holder, he is still under contempt of Congress for not being forthcoming and giving up the Fast and Furious documents. You're going to see more of this. I think that Mr. Barr is the best thing that's happened to the Department of Justice in decades, because he's going to uphold the rule of law, hold people accountable, and be sure that the FBI acts in conformance with the Constitution. So expect more of this. There'll be somebody else coming out of the woods and attacking him. We just have to expect that. It goes with the territory.
Listen, you know, you got to sleep with yourself at night and wake up and look in the mirror in the morning. And I think if you know that you're being true to the Constitution, you're being true to the American people, that's what matters. And I think that that's how all of these people, you know, I naively had hoped people in government were guided by those principles. And of course, we've learned that, in fact, they're not, that they're guided by very political principles for their own, I guess, self-preservation. But I think that what Attorney General Bill Barr needs to do is really live with himself and make sure that he preserves the rights for every American. Danny, it is good to see you. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being with you. Thank you for having me.